Welcome to day 2 of Vibe, building a Vibe consulting community to 100k. There's a lot of vibes going on over here. So if you're not aware, I'm building in public after having 3 successful 7-figure companies, but none of them had community. And I think community is going to be the one thing that stands the test of time with AI. And I'm just documenting it. So these are just totally raw, unedited videos. I'm going to give as much value as I can. And the plan is also to layer into these videos actually responding to comments in the from previous video. So please feel free to drop those down below. So day 1 we covered why, which is AI proof. It can work for any industry and people want connection, and this is what we can covered. So with Vibe Consultants, reviewing other communities we could do more of today, and building my own, so starting. So today we're going to be covering what's been done, how I'm planning on growing partnerships and content. So Vibe Consulting community is up. I've got 2 right now, so they're $100 a month each. So this is going to be my paid one, and this is my free one. And what I've done, just dropped the post. I did a promotion in my other group, but like 3 people joined. So as you can see, I don't have some unfair advantage. As for automations, we're adding. So right now, the way I'm thinking about this is a lot of people get overwhelmed in this space, and simplicity is what sells. I think about this a lot in business. So the way I'm really thinking about how to do this community, and kind of what I'm spending some time on right now, is what's the simplest community that I can build that gets people a result where they go, hey, I want more of that. So right now we've got like a bunch of automations, so I'll show you, and these are going to change with time. So we've got different automations that have been put in, which people will find valuable. So how to scrape stuff to find the people to outreach to, how to do viral content and stuff like that for doing it on social, and just basically free or very cheap methods to get clients. So we've put these in for now. We've got Make, we've got NAN as well. And then what I'm going to do is put some gum loop ones in also. So they're not in here yet, but we're going to have some gum loop because gum loop's like the easiest for most people to use. It's the most kind of obvious and just very big module. So for someone that's just not familiar with AI at all, gum loop's probably going to be the one they lean more towards. And for the people that are wanting to do more nuanced and complex stuff, NAN is going to be the best, and then Make is kind of middle ground. But a lot of what I'm thinking about right now is how to build out this initial like onboarding flow. And this is just going to be for a free community. So like what I want to put in it. So I've got like the welcome. So just obviously welcoming people to the community, the business model, how they should price their services, the tech stack they need, and the ascension plan. Now, I think Vibe Consulting is the whole premise of it, and what I really want to focus in on, at least this is where my thoughts are right now, is this idea of identification first. So there's a saying which is prescription without diagnosis is malpractice. It comes from obviously the medical field, which says, if a doctor is to give you medication, they haven't diagnosed your condition, they can go to jail for that. It's malpractice for a long time. And I think a lot of people are going to a market and they've gone, hey, I've got a voice agent and everyone can use this, which might be true, right? A lot of companies can use that. That's a fair assessment. I think it also doesn't enable the business owners to feel heard, right? It's like, hey, I've got a solution. I believe you've got this problem. When I think coming in from a perspective of running an audit is obviously it's going to be paid anyway. And if you go for bigger firms, like, yes, there's going to be a sales process just on an audit, but I also think it's going to allow people to take you more seriously as a consultant, not just like another SMMA rework, right? Is why I also think Vibe consultants who have essentially no AI knowledge at all, but have very strong industry expertise and groundings in that space, are going to crush it as Vibe consultants, because they understand the nuance of industry issues and stuff that they faced. They've also got a track record in that industry that they can leverage to get clients. So I think that's a big thing. So Right now, we put in a bunch of the automations, got a bunch more to put in, got to record the Loom videos, just going through a few. I want to talk also about this guy. I spoke about him in the last video. I'm in the wrong account. So, where is he? Nick, this guy. So, I like what this guy's done for, I think it's just a very simple funnel. It's like, hey, I'm this guy, give away value, come and join my paid community for like $200 a month. Great. And then they can upgrade to like, I think it's just under 400. The one thing I think he's missing out on is just actually generating like a strong email list, which is what I've predominantly focused on, is like growing an email list in a community where I can constantly reach out to them and start, my goal is to do like daily emails. And that's the thing he's missing. The on the flip side though, all of the people he's got are buyers, which are exponentially more valuable than just an email. So I think right now, at least my plan, and this is what I'm walking you through, my plan right now is to do free, which is this one, put some stuff in because a lot of people have done this, and then to do a paid community, and then to have more of like an inner circle, like one-on-one basically stuff. It is very much my plan right now. Whether that transpires that actually I don't want to have a free community, I just want to have a paid one, I just want to have my newsletter instead, it's kind of, we'll see which way we go. So speaking of which, so plan to grow, the launch, I have been growing my email list and my newsletters. So if you're not signed up, you can go get yourself signed up, which is newsletter.andrewdunn.co/subscribe. And this is where I obviously teach people like the strategies and tactics for trying growing companies. These are my stats. And we've been growing nicely. So, 20, 30 people a day join, which is awesome. Running ads and, it's all from paid, this growth. My plan is with Skool, you can do mass invites with your list here. So to grow the initial cohort of people, my plan is to basically invite all my email lists to the community. And that's why I want to do it once some automation stuff are in there. So when they join, they actually go, oh yeah, this is actually valuable. Then my plan is I want to actually build like a cold outbound engine for this community just to see if it works. I don't really see anyone talking about this. And that's what I want to try. So, yes, that's what I want to try that. So predominantly email and just scraping basically business owners, scraping other people, and then sending them an email saying, hey, do you want to join? See if that works, see how it works. I'm kind of 50-50 on whether it's going to work or whether if people just join but they're not very active. And this is, again, something else that I'm thinking about is like, they might join, but like, are they active, right? So am I going to just end up with potentially a big community of people that do nothing in it, right? And you see that in some of the bigger ones. And there is obviously like this like law of large numbers where people aren't, as the community grows, people, the percentage, like the overall number of people in the community engaging is higher, but the percentages are lower. So it's something that I am thinking about. Now, the plan for paid growth. So this is what I want to do because no one wants to join an empty group. So I've got a couple of plans that I'm going to share with you guys. I'm going to try and build the automations for this, and we'll do it obviously in front of you as well. So I want to try and build an automation that's going to increase the price of $1 per new member. So I'm going to start it at like 80 or 89 bucks or 50 bucks, something like that. I'm thinking like 89. And then every person that joins, the agent's going to come back in and increase the price by $1, right? And I'm going to do that, but I'm probably going to keep the annual plan the same for a lot of the time. So then people can see the disparity and maybe go annual. But I just really like this as a mechanism to get more people to join. Now, the idea for the initial growth of this, though, is to get 10 highly engaged people. So this could be even you watching, where I want, I'm going to add people to this community. I'm going to see who's the most engaged. I'm going to incentivize them and say, hey, you get the pro license, which is going to have everything in it for free. But, you know, you basically have to be active. You have to be engaged. Otherwise you get booted, right? Because you got it for free. So that's the plan. And once I've got the paid one going, to push people directly from my YouTube channels just straight into paid. So one thing I will say is, what I'm thinking about doing, but I'm also concerned about just overcomplicating stuff. So what I was thinking of doing is, rather than sending people directly to school, I will have like vibeconsultant.com, you know, /community or whatever, push people to that and they opt in, right? When they opt in, I could even take payment there, right? Then if they opt in, they go on my newsletter anyway, which is what already happens. Plus, if they don't then want to move forward with the paid group, I will automatically invite them to the free community after like an hour or something like that. So then they still are getting invited to a community where they can engage and where they can get questions answered. I think all this is just going to be me speaking out loud and you see me go through the process. My big, concern is the value in the free one. Early on is going to be great because they'll be engaging a lot. But what Nick said was his big thing is just like answering everyone's questions all the time. That makes sense when you got a paid community. It doesn't make as much sense in the free community over the long term. I think early doors, it makes total sense. And because then it makes that transition to upselling them easier. I also think like maybe the free community, you're just constantly upselling. So you're like, oh yeah, we cover that in the pro one, and you just link it out to people and people can come and join because they might not be aware of the pro community. We'll see. I think there's a lot of options here, which is why I want to do this in public, because you're going to see me work through this and hopefully you can do this for yourself. I think that people like complexity, but simplicity is actually what works. And I'm just trying to refine the simplest process here and not have too many moving parts, because I think also one of the things now with me leveraging AI in so many different ways, like I can build in a total outbound engine, upload 1 million emails and literally never look at it, right? And it will just work, which is the cool thing about it. And that is leverage. And that's what kind of I'm talking about. So that's what I'm thinking on the adding new members. And then from that, just straight from YouTube, pushing people straight in. Also, I'm now running ads to a paid product, helping people run an audit. And the plan is to actually add the pro community as an upsell in that funnel, where we'll just constantly get people pushed into it. Partnerships. So I want to discuss this. I've had a few opportunities already for people wanting to partner with me on this idea. I've had 4 or 5 already. And again, okay, it's a movement, which is strong. I get it. And people want to kind of piggyback on the back of that. I think also that you have to be careful with partnerships. I've got a partner right now in another company that I'm a part of, just totally unrelated to digital. And it's great when you have a synergistic relationship, a bit like with Ramped and Darren. We had a very synergistic relationship because he did all the sales and the sale call reviews, and I did all the marketing, growth and ops, right? And it's great, but like a lot of people fall in the trap of having partners who are very similar. So I'll just give you an example. One of the guys I spoke to about, who asked me whether I'd be interested, he very much wants to do what I'm doing. And although I think there would be value early on in doing something together, I also think that it wouldn't be a great partnership and it would end up breaking down. So let's say right now I am sacrificing initial growth, potentially, we don't know, because he's got a good size following and is known in the space and stuff, for me owning the brand. But I also think I'm doing it because in the future, I think there could be tension, because although have some stuff we do differently, we have a lot of crossover, and I think that is a bad idea when going into partnerships. So right now, again, my plan is to quote unquote partner, but more of a collaboration than a partnership with people who are going to help you grow your business and also develop automations that you actually can use. So on this channel, you will see a series, I'm not going to do daily, but I'm going to try and do 2 or 3 a week of building automations with people, helping them solve their actual business problems, and then giving those automations away to people in the communities. So that's going to be happening, and that's why I'm doing kind of this challenge, but it's layered into, me doing a much bigger thing here. And then the last thing is content. So I've got this channel right now, and then I've kind of got my main channel, and I'm splitting them up because this channel is more like raw and podcasts and interviews and stuff of that nature. And then my other channel is much more curated and, I don't want to say optimized for YouTube, but it is, the videos are designed with that lens, let's just say that. So on this channel, I'm kind of wanting to do some more behind the scenes stuff, some more build stuff, and really go deep on that. It is really the plan, and I'm just going to keep chipping away. Again, these videos just might not get no views, and that's fine. And the odd person that finds them goes, actually, this is interesting, seeing someone go through this process. But the next plan is finish uploading the content on the free one, do some of the videos so people know how to do the builds. I then need to really come up with a robust framework for people getting a result. I want to get people to their first AI audits, their first AI clients. And again, I have been very inspired by Nick, and he does it in 90 days, which is like a pretty normal promise. But I don't want this community just to be around like AI automations. I really want this community to build around the commercial intent of AI and building these vibe consulting firms. And that is very much the intent. So, and I think that's what he's done better than all the others. And I wouldn't actually say he's done anything groundbreaking, genuinely. I think he's just said, hey, AI is popping off. I'm going to take a spin on like the business front, which is totally obvious, but seemingly no one's really doing it. And it's like, I totally agree and concur with this direction that he's going on. And I intend on following it, basically merging the directionality of like AI in business and making money from it with also the fundamental, let's say, community tactics that have been tried and tested, which are free community to paid community. And I've watched a bunch of Alex Hormozi's stuff on this in the Skool community, and like when he's done his interviews and Sam Ovens and whatnot, just try and give me a bit of a head start. Is this going to work? I don't know. The plan is you get to follow along. So hope you enjoyed this one, and I will see you in the next one.